All right, we are here with Kirby Yates, the closer of the San Diego Padres, all-star closer of the San Diego Padres. I don't know if you even remember it. We met for like 45 seconds on the red carpet, and no one knew what to do at the red carpet. Was that like a moment of panic for you when you came out and you were just like, I don't know what to do with my hands?
I mean, kind of. I had my daughter that I was trying to chase around. I was trying to sign autographs. I was trying to say hi to people.
Yeah.
You know, my wife's behind me with my son, and it was a little chaotic. So the red carpet went pretty quick for me.
Yeah, there were a lot of people that you could tell, like, they walked out and they were like, I don't know where to go. And then, like, there's PR people bringing them on 50 different directions. So as a closer, they always talk about, you know, the closer mentality. Like, next day, you got to get rid of it. You got to move on to your next appearance. For you, talk to me about your closer mentality. Like, if there's a bad outing or something, do you take that with you? Or is it just like you show up at the ballpark the next day and it's men in black? I don't even remember the next day.
You try to. Honestly, you try and squash it before you leave the clubhouse.
Yeah.
You know, you got to do whatever you got to do. Whether sometimes it takes a half hour, sometimes it takes an hour, hour and a half. You never really know. But by the time you show up the next day, you got a job to do. And, you know, if you got a lead in the ninth and they call on you again, you got to get it done. So, you know, you got to have a quick memory and you got to kind of just wipe it and go out there and do it again.
A lot of guys, I like to check guys' petty meters because I'm pretty petty. I don't forget anything. You've been designated for assignment before.
Oh, yeah.
How much motivation do you draw from teams being like, you know what, we don't even have a roster spot for you? Never mind the closer spot, competing for that. We don't even have a roster spot for you. How much of that drives you today?
I think it's all motivation. I think all of that happened for a reason. And, you know, I didn't get drafted. And that was a huge point. You know, I was playing in the minor leagues. Like, when I would go pitch or whatever, and I knew, like, a first-rounder was in the box, like, I knew it, and I was conscious of that. And, you know, I would kind of prove that I was better than him. And, you know, it just kind of everything that's happened is kind of just fire. It's gasoline, you know. It just keeps pouring on, and it's highly motivating, and, you know, I don't forget it.
So you're able to, you know, like, you're able to step it up when you know that somebody different is in the box. But I was looking at the numbers. You lead the league in saves. Everyone knows that. You lead the league in saves right now. That's on the surface. But if you look a little deeper, you have a 0.66 ERA in save situations. Your numbers are still good in not save situations, but in save situations, it seems like there's an intense focus there. The adrenaline obviously helps you out big time. Talk to me about when it's like, all right, phone rings, you know it's for you. You come out in the ninth. What are you thinking there? Is there something different that goes on there versus non-safe situations? Because the numbers would indicate that your focus is pretty pinpoint in safe situations.
I think when you get into situations and you start doing it over and over again, and you get this feeling that you understand where you're going in the game, and you understand when the phone rings. Like, you know, me and Bach have a relationship already. It's like sometimes he doesn't even have to tell me. It just hands me a ball and let's go.
Yep.
I think when that door opens and you got a lead and you know it's your turn to go get your team a win, I think once you start getting used to that and you understand that, you know, the boys are kind of relying on you, there's another gear that you can get into. And, you know, I enjoy it. I enjoy the intensity and, you know, the adrenaline that comes with it, especially the pressure situations or whatever. I think that's the only way people like to pitch, honestly.
Do you resent? How many times this year have you heard, where did Kirby Yates come from this year? And do you resent that because you were pretty damn good last year too? It's just you weren't getting like the same save opportunities that you were this year.
Yeah.
Like, you were all-star caliber reliever. The strikeout numbers were there. The performance was there. Like, for someone to be like, hey, where did I come from this year? Like, yeah, I'm an all-star this year, but I was pretty damn good last year too.
Honestly, none of that even bothers me anymore. It's been like that my entire career. So, like, honestly, I really don't care. I mean, people can say whatever they want. The only thing that matters is the opinion of my teammates and my organization. And, you know, I still have a job to do every night, and that's the only thing I focus on or care about and honestly need to do. You know, everybody can be saying whatever they want about me. It doesn't matter if I go out there and suck. So I try not to suck.
I feel like you haven't really sucked all that much this year. I feel like you've had very minimal opportunities.
I've sucked in the past, so I know what that feels like.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about Hawaii. I got a question. The Rock, can he claim Hawaii? Like, is that something, like, I feel like The Rock can't claim Hawaii, but maybe he can. So for you, can he legally claim Hawaii?
I think he can claim Hawaii. He went
so?
to high school in Hawaii. For
Okay.
me, that's good enough. if you had to, go to public school and go through the whole ringer in Hawaii, that's for me that counts.
Okay, so by the time you're 18, you can check out, you can claim Hawaii.
Oh yeah, I was fortunate enough to be born and raised there, so I went to preschool, elementary, high school, the entire thing. So
what is that like? What is it like being able to grow up? Because there's plenty of guys. Who do we talk to? There's Colton Wong's from Hawaii, right? Yeah, we talked to him about Hawaii. There's dudes that grew up there. How special is it to make it to the big leagues as a guy from Hawaii? Because I know Shane Victorino, very, very proud of his Hawaiian roots as well.
I'm kind of the same, man. The crazy thing is that my older brother, he made it to the big leagues too, and we're the only two that are from Kauai that made it. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty neat. And it's cool when you see a bunch of the other Hawaiian, we call them Hawaiian bratas.
Yeah.
That everybody. It's just like a little fraternity within itself, and it's cool because everybody knows each other, and we'll do camps in the off season. Everybody sees each other, and you just build friendships and relationships that are gonna last. Yep. It's awesome.
Who was one guy when you got to Cleveland for the All-Star game that you were like, I can't wait to pick this guy's brain, talk to him a little bit?
I was just starstruck. We just had played the Dodgers, and then we took 3 or 4 and then walk in the clubhouse and Kershaw's there, and I've been watching him pitch for 10 years, and it's just man, this guy's a stud. And then Scherzer's in there, and it's just it was cool. I was kind of quiet, but just kind of listen. And I got to talk to DeGrom a little bit in the home run derby about pitching, and I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was I was like, this is tight.
Was it because I know how I would be if I were the lone representative for my team to go to the All-Star team? I would kind of be freaking out a little bit. I don't know. It's kind of like getting traded to a new team,
right?
But you don't have enough time to get to know all of your new teammates. What was that like, being the lone representative from the Padres to go to Cleveland? And did you know anybody?
I knew Felipe Vasquez because we minor leaguers in Tampa together.
Okay.
So I know him a little bit, and his locker is right next to mine.
He's
so
nasty.
It was good, yeah. Fuel.
Yeah.
So it was good to so he's like, hey, what's up, Bobby? And we had a conversation, but the cool thing is everybody over there was awesome.
Yeah.
It was an awesome clubhouse. Everybody was super, just open, having fun, and I love that environment. If people are having fun, I feel like I can fit in. So that was a cool thing.
What's the pitch repertoire?
Right now, it's basically fastball split. I got a slider that everybody here tells me not to throw, but I still try and mix it in.
The analytics team?
Yeah, nobody likes a slider because when I hang it gets hit out of the park. But I'm like, I like that pitch, so I still try and throw it. But they got a pretty good point. I think I've thrown 7 this year. I'm trying to get the percentages up, though.
Yeah, you gotta. When people check Fangraphs, they got to be sitting on slider every night. They got to have slider in the back of their mind.
Right. That's the secret for September.
Right.
I'm going to go heavy slider to set it up for next year.
Yeah. They don't even you don't even have to throw one in September. Just kind of for the last week of August, just throw in a bunch of sliders so that they're thinking of it.
Yeah.
Got to have them think of it. All right. So I'll count the slider. So here's why I asked that question: fastball, splitter, slider. You can dump one of those pitches, and then you can adopt the same pitch from someone else in the league. Anyone in the league that's active right now. So I'm assuming that you're going to pick the slider because it stinks.
I'm going to dump the slider.
Dump the slider. Whose slider are you now adopting?
Ottavino's got a really good one.
Yeah, he does.
Ottavino's got a really good one.
He's got a video game slider.
It's him or Sale.
Yeah.
It's one of those two guys.
Yeah, Sale slider is pretty nasty. Closed out a World Series with one of those bad boys.
So.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. What was, because we talked a little bit about the analytics. Did the Padres at any point sit you down and say all right, here's what you throw, here are the situations that you throw them in, we're going to go heavy here? Did they try to coach you through any data?
It was more when I got claimed over here. I was mixing in a split early in the season, and the first thing that they told me when they claimed me was hey, we know you're throwing a split, and we're in on it, we like it. And so when I came over here, they were like, hey, throw it, just keep throwing it, throw it. And thankfully, it kept getting better, and I kind of started getting a feel for it and understanding how to make it break consistently and all that. And they were very encouraging in doing that, and they kind of tried. as the split got better, the slider kind of fizzled out, and that's just one of the things I think a collective group, even myself, kind of understood that this was how I was going to have to pitch.
So that took place when you first got here.
Yeah.
So then, what was the biggest difference from 2018 to 2019? What was, is it as simple as being given the chance? Was it a confidence thing? What was it?
I think it's both of that, and then I also think my fastball command's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about the split. I can't get them to swing at the split if they're not trying to hit my fastball.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like everybody talks about spin rate and analytics and all of this and velo, whatever. Like, the most important thing about pitching is locating the fastball. And that's the oldest thing in the book, and to me, that'll never change.
The old Greg Maddux approach.
Yeah, if you can throw the ball down, you can throw the ball up, you can throw the ball in corners. To me, I think you'll have success.
Mm-hmm. So for you, this past trade deadline, your name came up a lot as teams were looking for power arms out of the back end of their bullpens, whether it be as a setup guy, as a closer. How much of that can you put aside, and do you sort of take it as a compliment, being like, hey, people are noticing like how well I'm throwing the ball, or is it, hey, I want to stay here, like I'm comfortable here, I don't want to have to think about that while I'm trying to go out and close games for the Padres? Like, what was the whole thought process there?
Yeah, my thought process the entire time is I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay here. I like it here. But you understand the rumblings that are going on, and I think the weird thing is that all the people around you, like your family members or whatever,
they're probably bugging out.
They're the ones that wig out more than
sending
anybody.
you all the articles. Hey,
Yeah.
did you see this? This team
And
wants you.
My wife gets the brunt of it, so she starts stressing out and stuff like that. But for me, I'm just like, whatever. If it happens, it happens. There's nothing I can really do about it.
Right.
So,
but there has to be a certain part of you that takes it as a compliment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 3-4 years ago, it was like every time I saw something about my name, it wasn't good, and now we're here on the flip side. It's like, all right, people are starting to want me, and that obviously that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you kind of you take it as a compliment and enjoy it, and you just control what you can control.
So if you're growing up as a baseball player in Hawaii, how do you pick a favorite team? Is it like when you grow? How old are you?
32.
So like you're around my age. So like you grew up with like Griffey as like the face of baseball. So like, were you a guy that it's like, I don't have a favorite team, but I have favorite players, or did you have 100%. A favorite team?
I had a favorite player, it was Griffey, and I always loved the Mariners. I would always go out in my yard or whatever and bounce a tennis ball and imitate like him, Buhner, all those guys, A-Rod, like the entire time. And I guess I was a Mariners fan for a little while, but I was a huge Ken Griffey Jr. fan. I was just a baseball fan, honestly. I never missed. You never missed Wednesday night or Sunday night baseball ever.
Last question: what's the best piece of advice that you think you've gotten to get to where you are right now? And what would you give as a piece of advice to a pitcher or even just a position player that's trying to make it? Maybe they've been DFA'd and they're trying to make it. What piece of advice would you pass along to them? I
would say, the best advice I've gotten is understand what you're good at and get really good at that. And I think, the better I've gotten throughout the years, I think that's one of the things that it keeps sticking with me. You know what I mean? I understood what I was good at, and all I tried to do is just keep getting better at that. I don't need to reinvent the wheel or anything. I just keep getting better at myself and focus on myself. That's kind of all I got. I don't know. I don't really have any advice for hitters. The only thing I could say is swing at strikes and don't chase. I don't get to hit. I've had 2 at-bats, and, thankfully I haven't struck out, but I had, that's that. That's all I got.
Kirby Yates, 2019 All-Star, the saves leader in the National League for the San Diego Padres. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, dude. Appreciate it.